All right, shalom, family,
Shalom.
and praise y'all once again for allowing us to take part in another new month, a new moon, and excuse the little bit of late start. Um, Tonight, title of this sermon is called "Who Shall We Fear?" And from the beginning of Adam, man was given the knowledge of good, and man was given the knowledge of evil. But this knowledge of good and evil came by disobedience. It came by sin. As mankind started to grow in knowledge, man started to separate themselves further away from the grace of Yah. Evil was in the hearts of men continually. So Yahweh allowed Noah and his family to live through the first judgment. With Yah cleansing the earth of the rebellious, the transgressors were drowned in water to start a new beginning with Noah and his family. Even within this very day as we speak, we have the haters of Yahweh that will never turn back from their unrighteousness, that will continue to operate this earth in evil till their last breath. Please, fear Yah, fear the Most High, and live. For the kings of this earth care blindly for their people, leading them into a ditch, allowing people to lose their salvation. They don't fear Yah, not at all. All right, we're going to start tonight's sermon in Jeremiah chapter 2, and we're going to read verse 1 through 11. And that's Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 1 through 11. All right.
Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 1. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Go and cry in the ears of Jerusalem, saying, Thus says Yah, I remember you, the kindness of your youth, the love of your espousals, when you went after me in the wilderness, in a land that was not sown.
Now, that's usually the case, when we, young and beginners, babes, living in innocence. But as we become older, we start to become, forgetful hearers. When a relationship is just starting, sometimes those can be the times that are so precious. Then as time passes, again, the relationship starts, it starts to change. Then all the good memories that we remembered were of the beginning of the relationship of our youth. Now, we're supposed to have a connection, with Yah. That connection that a lot of people have, they have by speech. But we know it's written, for it's the doers of the law that are going to be justified. And that's the thing. We have so many people out there that's not being given the truth, that they don't even understand that they're supposed to be doers of the law. And that's where the relationship that we're supposed to have with Yahweh. And a lot of people, they say they love Yah, but don't understand it's keeping the commandments. And because those that are teaching them is leading them blind, they don't have much of that knowledge or the truth that's given unto them. Go ahead, my brother.
Bro, in this day and time, what we get is a lot of half-truths.
Yes.
We remember the movie where everybody knows the famous line, you want the truth? You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. And the whole thing is, you don't know what a person can handle until you put it all out there.
Right.
Instead of you assuming what someone can and can't handle. I was talking to my mom earlier today, and we always hear this, I see this person's faith. I see this person's faith. And it's my brother-in-law's father who had someone on his back. Mm-hmm. He's went through his surgery. My mom's explaining she see his faith because for a man who should never be able to walk again, he's now walking with a cane. But I say, no, what you see is a result of faith and works.
Right.
Because, yeah, he could have had faith that I'm going to be okay, but he had to get up and do something in order to start working again.
Exactly.
So the work was putting one foot in front of the other.
Exactly. And that's what a lot of people like, man. They have that faith, not understanding that there's works that has to be done to accomplish, show that relationship, that obedience. Going back to that, you know.
All right.
Go ahead, my brother.
Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 3. Israel was holiness unto Yahweh, and the first fruits of his increase. All that devoured him shall offend. Evil shall come upon them, says Yah. Hear you the word of Yahweh, O house of Jacob, and all the families of the house of Israel. Thus says Yahweh, what lawlessness have your fathers found in me, that they are gone far from me, and have walked after vanity, and are become vain?
And see, it says, thus saith Yahweh, what iniquity have your fathers found in me, that they have gone far from me, and have walked after vanity, and are become vain. Now, they've become vain. And when you actually look up that word, vain, but let's go to that father first. Because a man who gives, it says, a man who gives care and protection to someone or something, that's a father. The oldest or the most respected member of a society or of the body. We're supposed to be like our like fathers. We're supposed to be guides. There's so much people out there that don't have this knowledge, this understanding that's out there, and we supposed to be that type of guide and protector, you know. But you have folks out there that are seeking for something different. Instead of seeking for that righteous kingdom, they're seeking for this kingdom here now, which we know that it has an end, but their eyes have not, I guess, you know, can't perceive what this new righteous kingdom is coming. And that's the thing, you know, we got to understand living for what's coming, that righteous kingdom. They're living for now. So for them to be a father's supposed to guide their family, their kids in the right way, man. And that's a relationship that we supposed to have with Yahweh. The mercy that Yahweh has been giving unto us, showing us and leading us in the right way, if we do read. And a lot of people, that's the thing that we have to understand. We got to put time in reading and knowing Yahweh. And when we touch on the fact of that word vain, becoming vain, it says it's becoming useless. Why would you want to work towards something that's worthless, that's useless? And that's what our ancestors have become, and that's what our people, even the nations, we have become vain in the doings in our walk, in our day-to-day life, not understanding that fear of Yah. That's that beginning of knowledge. Go ahead, my brother.
You know, you mentioned father, and that's the thing, is like, how do you explain to a young person what a father figure should look like? Mm-hmm. You know, we look at age, or we look at gray hairs, and you know, you gravitate to that person and think that that should be a father figure, just to realize that person is the one that led you astray.
Right.
You know, we don't teach our kids, you know, how to watch the deeds of a man, mm-hmm. and say, okay, this man is walking right. Because you know, like you said, the head of a community, the head of a body. Mm-hmm. But that same head, if he's not going in the right direction, is not a father.
Exactly.
And then you got to understand why you always say, call no man on earth father. Mm-hmm. I'm your father. Because at the end of the day, that's the most righteous example we ever gonna get.
Right. And and we know that there's a culture, there's a way of living that Yahweh gave us. And Yahweh is so merciful, man. He imagine, instead of just having someone say something, he actually allowed this Bible, the words to be written so we can read it and y'all will understand in the way that we should go. All right, my brother.
Verse 6. Neither said they, where is Yahweh that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, that led us through the wilderness, through a land of deserts and of pits, through a land of drought and of the shadow of death, through a land that no man passed through, and where no man dwelt. And I brought you into a plentiful country, to eat the fruit thereof and the goodness thereof. But when you entered, you defiled my land, and made my heritage an abomination. The priest said not, where is Yah? And they that handle the law knew me not.
You see? And they that handle the law knew me not. But they're priests. They're pastors. They're in that position that they're supposed to be handling the law and giving us the right direction and the guidance that we're supposed to have. But again, and you're going to hear this several times through this sermon, the thing is, who shall we fear? Remember, it's a simple thing. Anybody out there is going to say, okay, they're going to fear God. Of course, they're going to fear Yahweh. But yet still, going back to what Kish was saying earlier, it takes knowing. If you don't know Yahweh, if you're not reading to understand what Yahweh is all about, then if that priest or pastor that's before you, bishop, whatever title they have, is not telling you what thus saith Yahweh, then you can see how them having the law, you know, they don't know Yahweh, how they handle the law. If they're not saying the things that's written in this Bible, then know for sure that they have no fear for Yahweh at all. At all. Go ahead, man.
The pastors also transgressed against me, and the prophets prophesied by Baal, and walked after things that do not profit. Wherefore I will yet plead with you, says Yahweh, and with your children's children will I plead. For pass over the isles of Shittim, and see, and send on to Kedar, and consider diligently, and see if there be such a thing. Has a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods? But my people have changed their glory for that which does not profit.
Now, what sense does that make? To change, to give up a sure thing. You know, to give up a sure thing for something that doesn't profit at all. Yet we still go after the ways of the nations and not doing what? Not fearing Yahweh. So it's like, if you, and we talked about this before, like, why would you go to work somewhere and not get paid? It makes no sense. Like, you're going to work to earn a living. You're earning a living. Now, you know, like, why would you get married knowing that the relationship is not going to work out? Why would you get? It's going back to that whole thing of, you know, something being useless, like worthless, being done in vain. And that's what so many people out there are doing, and they being led to the ditch, man. And, you know, it's something that I hate to see. It's being done. And just remember that we being called here to learn these things that we know is not just for us. You know, it's not just for us at all. Because at the end of the day, you have other people out there who deserves to hear this truth. So when it goes to say trying the Spirit by the Spirit, you know, talk to somebody and see where they stand, Yazwell. At the end of the day, we have works that we're supposed to do. Because there's things that we're going to be, by the words and our deeds, we're going to be judged by. So we should have that fear within ourselves, so we can make sure we do the things that we have to do for within this walk. If we're looking for salvation, and that's the thing, because that's coming. Whether an individual wants to receive it or not, I pray that we are able to receive it. But then, we got to understand what Yahweh is all about. And if not, and then judgment is not going to be good for us. Go ahead.
Verse 11, it says, has a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods? And it's a profound statement because Yahweh is looking at how wishy-washy we are.
Mm-hmm.
These nations are standing strong on their beliefs. And up to this day, they're still worshiping the gods that they've been worshiping.
Yep.
But we keep tossing him aside to run over here to Baal and run over here to Mercurius and run over here to Jupiter. But yet, the people who started out with those gods still worship those gods.
And we have our own culture. Imagine, the creator of all things have chosen a nation for his own. And yet still, we want to chase after the nations and their gods who are not no God. It really and truly, man, it makes no sense at all. But at the end of the day, we read about the 2/3, not making it, and we know what prophecy is talking about as far as the destruction that Yahweh is going to put on this earth with all men. But at the end of the day, man, for those who have an ear to hear, please hear, because at the end of the day, there's nothing much more important. I know we all have, things that we want to do as far as having a home and, have a vehicle and things like that. I understand that. But at the end of the day, yeah, we may have our own plans. Yahweh has his plans too. And we got to make sure that we secure ourselves within Yah's plans, within Yah's prophecy, right? There's a righteous kingdom that's coming. Why not work towards something that has that is profitable to us? But yet still, we grab on to the ways of the nations that is not even profitable. Why even, like verse 11, changing our glory for that which does not profit. All right, we're going to go ahead and go to Proverbs chapter 28, and we're going to read verse 1 through verse 14. And that's Proverbs chapter 28, verse 1 through 14.
Proverbs chapter 28 and verse 1. The wicked flee when no man pursues, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. For the transgression of a land many are the princes. Verse 2. For the transgression of a land many are the princes thereof, but by a man of understanding and knowledge the state thereof shall be prolonged. A poor man that oppresses the poor is like a sweeping rain which leaves no food.
Now, the Bible for many years has been misused for psychological oppression. Psychological oppression. Controlling the mind of many because millions are deceived every week. They don't realize, like a sweeping rain, these priests and pastors are taken away from them and leaving no substance at all for them to even be able to receive that salvation that Yahweh has put there for us. There's so many people that their lives is at stake. They don't even care for the people, and that's what I'm trying to put out there is they have no fear for Yah, and they're constantly leading people astray, using psychological oppression, deceiving them within their mind, that they can't see even receive the truth to see or understand because somebody else that is in front of them has their own way of seeing or wanting to do things, or they have their own perception of what is more important to them than leading their people in the right way. Go ahead, bro.
I mean, you got to understand with these preachers and pastors, you know, your heart has to be in a completely different place when you know you got an auditorium packed with low to no income people, but still yet you have the gall to say, hey, I need a $63 million plane.
Yeah.
Your heart has got to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
To keep sucking from poor people.
Your heart got to be somewhere else, man. It's straight wickedness. It's evil.
You know, I was watching a documentary the other night, and it showed like this man is one of the top 10 richest people in the world. It's in India, and they showed this housing structure that was built. And right below him is nothing but poverty. You one of the 10 richest men in the world. When you come out of your skyscraping home, there's poverty below you, your own people.
Your own people.
And you can just walk by as if it's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Kids sitting in the drainage looking for food. You gotta have a different heart.
You got to.
Your mindset has to be completely different.
The amount of money that they make, man, you know, it's incredible to me. Like I said, I wasn't, you know, and I know a lot of us wasn't walking in the truth where that as we are now. And knowing what we know now, you know, I mean, praise Yah. Yah's there's no turning back, you know, because at the end of the day, I know what I'm seeking for, and that's a righteous kingdom. There's nothing here really. I mean, I know we have to make a living and secure our families and everything like that, man. But at the end of the day, there's something much more greater for us to look forward to. But yet still, like you say, you have to have a different heart, not to tell people, not to show people that greater a righteous kingdom that's coming, just because for filthy lucre's sake.
Verse 4, they that forsake the law praise the wicked, but such as keep the law contend with them. Evil men understand not judgment, but they that seek Yahweh understand all things. Better is the poor that walks in his uprightness than he that is perverse in his ways, though he be rich. Whoso keepeth the law is a wise son, but he that is a companion of riotous men shames his father.
Now, I want to go back to verse 4. It says, they that forsake the law praise the wicked, but such as keep the law contend with them. And that's going to happen. We that's keeping the law, of course, there's going to be times when you're going to have to contend. Imagine you right there among certain people, and you hear them telling a lie, and you right there. Now that's misleading. They're lying to the people, misleading them, and you right there. Of course, there's going to be some contention. Of course, there's no way you're going to hear the lie being told. You know the truth, and you're just going to stand there and not say nothing. So it's like I said, this walk here has been definitely a learning experience, because when I first came into the Word and saw all these different things that people were doing out there, I'm like, yo, they cannot be reading. I wasn't going to church like that. You know, I'm seriously, I was not going to church like that, man. It's praise Yah for, the calling that He gave me, because understand, when He allowed me to start understanding His Word, and I'm looking at what I see other folks are doing out there, I was like, yo, what fear do they have? When I finally understood that we supposed to fear Yah, and that's supposed to be the beginning of knowledge. And I see what people doing out there, man. I'm like, yo, it can't be. There's no way that they're reading this. And they that forsake the law praise the wicked. You praising the wicked for the evil that they do. Goes back again to, yo, you have to have a different heart within you to want to praise the wicked. But at the end of the day, we do have to remember that Lucifer exists. And I think some people fail to understand that. They considering Yah, but they fail to understand that Lucifer also exists.
You see, the key part to that is, but it's such as keep the law, contend with them. And that's what a lot of people want to run away from, contention.
Exactly.
Hey man, if it's contention on righteousness' sake, we gonna have this contention.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, what we got this saying, snitches get stitches, right?
Yes.
Snitches on unrighteousness get salvation. So let's have this contention, get it over with, and you get out my face. Verse 8. He that by interest and unjust gain increase his substance, he shall gather it for him that will pity the poor. He that turns away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be abomination. Whoso caused the righteous to go astray in an evil way, he shall fall himself into his own pit. But the upright shall have good things in possession.
You know, they have that saying, when you dig one grave, you dig two. You know, because at the end of the day, that's what these pastors, and let me not just say them, because understand something. Our own people that are Hebrew Israelites out there that's doing the same thing too. So excuse me, it's not only religion, the Catholicism and the Christianity and all that. We have our own people that's doing the same thing. As far as, even though they know the truth, they misleading our folks in the wrong way. So it's not just, and I want folks to understand that. And I know people here, oh, the Hebrew Israelite, and because they see the majority of those that are being misleading the folks, not entreating the word easily, making it easily entreated for the people, out there on the corner bashing folks, but yet still, I want folks to understand that it's not just in Christianity, it's also in these Hebrew Israelite camps too. And it's hard, even though it hurts to say that, because you see your own people that's supposed to be leaders, good leaders, righteous leaders, but yet still, like verse 10, whoso causeth the righteous to go astray in an evil way, and that's what they're doing. They have no fear for Yah at all, man, and that's like I say, it's wild to me understanding, praise Yah, what I understand now, and seeing these things being continually done, knowing that there's going to be great destruction, knowing that Yahweh has his judgment that's coming. Go ahead.
So you see, it's like we talked about earlier, knowing the truth. That's the problem. They don't know there's great destruction coming. They all believe in this floating and going off to heaven.
Going off into heaven, right. Exactly. Again, receiving lies from those that are in front of them.
Verse 11. The rich man is wise in his own conceit, but the poor that has understanding searches him out. When righteous men do rejoice, there is great glory. But when the wicked rise, a man is hidden. He that covereth his sins shall not prosper, but whoso confess and forsake them shall have mercy.
See, but whoso confess and forsake them, forsake. You put it away. Put those things away from you. I know there's different things there. There's times where we get into a situation that we could have avoided, that we could have actually forsake. Because understand that word forsake is not only used for unrighteousness, or for also righteousness. We can forsake a matter, forsake a situation that is going to allow you to sin against Yahweh. And we gotta be mindful of those things, man. We have to make sure we're understanding what thus saith Yahweh. And when you have someone who you're looking up to be that guide, that protector in front of you, not showing you what's written in the Bible, then truly, how can we, forsake those sins? How can we put those things away from us if we don't understand truly that it's not just faith and believing? It's more to it than that. He that covereth his sins shall not prosper. I mean, why? Understanding that we should confess our sins to Yah, then receive a blessing out of that. It makes sense. There's no way. Of course, we might not know, but Yahweh knows. Yahweh knows even our intentions, our thoughts. I mean, we can't hide, really and truly. There's no hiding from Yahweh, man. So when we get up into a situation where we see that it actually can make us sin, forsake it. Put it away from you. Don't get caught up into that situation, even though it may you might think, okay, well, that person there may be a friend or a family, or they're going, or they're there. We all gonna be judged individually. That friend, that family member who you think is a family member, I mean, Yahshua already told us who our family is, really and truly. So at the end of the day, we have a lot of consideration to do, because we have times that are coming that we're going to feel great pressure.
Go ahead. Verse 14. Happy is the man that fears always, but he that hardened his heart shall fall into mischief.
Why should we, now, you think about that, like, why be happy and fear? It's like you would think it don't mix, but when that fear that you have deals with Yahweh, and you have it, praise Yah, you have it, because be happy. Because at the end of the day, that's the beginning of knowledge, there's a point. There's a point right there for you, to start at. Seriously. Happy is the man that feareth always, but he that hardeneth his heart shall fall into mischief. And like I say, it may not make any sense. Like, why would you want to live in fear and be happy? But like I say, if it's concerning Yahweh, be happy that you have that fear, because a lot of people don't have it. Be happy that you understand that fear of Yahweh, because a lot of people don't understand it. Go ahead, my brother.
We touched, Priest Esaac touched on that in Bible study last night, when you can look at a person and see that they're going through something that you've already gone through. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times it's that hardness of the heart that leads them right into that mischief, when you're like, right, I tried to warn you.
Right.
I saw it on you. I've been there.
And that's the thing, we just read about confessing our sins. I know it's not easy. We can go before Yahweh and pray before Yahweh. But it seems like it's hard for an individual to go to another person who they can see and say, yo, look, this is going on with me. Yazoo, can you pray for me? Because you gotta understand that individual that you're going to. I pray that it is someone who has a good standing with Yah, that you will go and talk to the person to allow them to kind of hear what you're going through. Again, it could be a situation that one of us have already went through and actually can be able to give you some understanding and knowledge, or a better hope, an outlook on the situation that you're going through. So it's not all the time that of course, go before Yahweh and pray and confess your sins, but don't take it to that point where you feel that you can't talk to any one of us. Seriously. Because I know our priest, our head priest, Esaac, man, Kish, me, other brothers and sisters in here, if you here to walk this walk, we're not going to judge on what we think and how we feel at the end of the day. It's what thus saith Yahweh. We're going to bring it to the book, because there's no way that I can tell you how I think and how I feel, and it's not dealing with how you're supposed to do things according to what's written in the Bible. All right, we're going to go to Proverbs chapter 6, and we're going to read verse 16 through 24. It's Proverbs chapter 6, verse 16 through 24.
Verse 16. These things does Yahweh hate. Yes, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood.
All of those things are being done to our folks out there right now, every week. That fear should come, though. That fear of Yahweh should come. That for no amount of money in this world that should allow you to lead innocent people down the path of destruction. And you all, they know who they are. You know what you know that many people out there is being deceived by those who have deceived themselves. And that's the thing, they've turned their back. They've learned the school. They went to seminary school, learned the truth, turned their backs on the truth, turned their backs on their people, and they deceive their own selves. How can you take money from people and you just talked about that? And people hard-earned money they use for their bills to take care of their families. They put their trust. They put in their trust in these priests, these pastors, man, these bishops, those that are supposedly righteous leaders, which we know they're not. But they deceiving the people, having a lying tongue, hands that are shedding innocent blood. And though the blood is not spewing out of them, they killing off the people, man. They have no fear for Yah. The truth is not being told. Someone who's supposed to be a guide, a help for salvation, are leading so many people into a ditch. Again, they have no fear for Yah, and that's what we got to make sure that we have fear for Yah, and do what we got to do, because salvation is coming. Destruction is coming first, but salvation is coming. Of course, it's gonna the worst times is coming. But understand, better times is coming too. Go ahead, my
I've seen, sometimes even though we're walking a walk, we're helping on righteousness and we don't realize it until Yahweh opens your eye. Guy, he get these, what is it, the prophet. The prophet sent me something.
Mm-hmm.
You got to send this back and whatever. And this man would take his bill money and send to the prophet.
Right.
But then come back, oh man, I'm short of my bill. You think you can help me? And after a while, I have to think about, no, I'm helping you to do unrighteousness.
Right.
Because if you think you can depend on me after it's like you sending him my money.
Right. You hoping and he's there hoping in something that's vain.
I finally had to say, brother, I'm not helping you.
Mm-hmm.
You figure this out. You're going to take your bill money and send it to him. How many times is it going to have to take for you to realize that you're not getting anything back?
Right.
Stop coming to me.
Go ahead, my brother.
Verse 18. An heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speak lies, and he that sows discord among brethren. My son, keep your father's commandment, and forsake not the law of your mother.
And we've talked about that several times already. That as far as, the father being Yah and the mother being the church. And the church is where we're supposed to go and be fed the truth. But yet still, we have these, churches, man, and I want to go back again and say, it's not just within religion. It's not just within Catholicism. It's not just within Christianity. We have our own people out there who know who they are as a people, but yet still, they are in for that filthy lucre's sake, for the money, for the gain of this kingdom. And it's going, and this kingdom here, it has an end. Why work towards something that has an end? It makes no sense. Verse 19. A false witness. Imagine to have been able to learn the truth of Yahweh, but because of certain circumstances, they choose to be blind to what they saw, blind to what they've heard, and blind to what they've heard. For what they learned. For all that's gonna come to an end. It's vain. It's useless. It's worthless. And going back to that word, man, it makes no sense to work towards something that is not gonna profit you at the end. We know that Yahweh is a forgiving Elohim, but yet still, we have to make that move. We have to do something to show him that we want to be obedient. Go ahead, bro.
You mentioned the church is where we should go to be fed. And you still have to, you watch the sermon that goes on, but then you still have to watch the conversations outside the sermon.
Right.
Because a lot of times you listen to the conversations outside the sermon and realize, you know what? You didn't learn anything, did you? And then you still have to remember there's one thing I think we all get. We're all happy when we come into this truth. And we forget that Yehudis walked with the word.
Right.
He was you couldn't get any more truth than that truth. But still had his own mindset and his own agenda.
Going back to what you said earlier about that you have to have that kind of heart, to want to mislead people, it goes back to, when you think about King David, and what we know, he was a man after Yah's own heart because he cared for his people. We're supposed to care for our people, but yet still, we care. There's so many people that's going to lose their life, that's going to be destroyed. And then after And that's the thing, we have so many people out there think that, oh, you have one life to live, live it to the fullest, and no, there's two deaths. There's a second death, and there's going to be a life of peace. Make sure you choose the right one. Make sure you're listening to who have this unadulterated truth and speaking the truth in within the Bible. Go ahead, my brother.
One of the things here, man, in verse 17 it says a proud look, a lying tongue. Then in verse 19 he goes into lying again, a false witness that speaks lies. It lets you know that Yahweh cares about this a great deal.
A great deal.
He said to start off 6 things does Yahweh hate, even 7 are an abomination. So within that, he got lies twice.
Right.
He has lies twice. So you can lie in one way or then lie in another way. He hate all of them. And that's pretty, deep that he would put that in there. Because when you deal with what it says, when the devil tells a lie, he tells of his own, for he's the father and the maker of it.
Right.
So when you get to those that then love lying and seek lying as their remedy, they have then taken a hold of Lucifer as their father, and they've denounced Yahweh as their father. Because at that point, they decide to do, he says, the ways of your father you will do.
Right.
So you either gonna pick the way Yahweh operate, or you gonna pick the way that Lucifer operate. And if your answer every time you get off into something is not dealing with it, but I'm just gonna lie, then you have chosen that the adversary, the devil, is your father.
Right. Right.
Ain't that crazy?
It is crazy.
We'll know it, read it, and still do it. There's something wrong there.
Yeah, you deceive, man. They deceive them. They've deceived their own selves into. I guess they've been doing it for so long, They've deceived their own selves, to where there's no turning back for them. There's no turning back for them, man. But praise Yah, He's allowed our eyes to be open. We have a choice. Praise Yah. Make it right. Go ahead.
Verse 21. Bind them continually upon your heart and tie them about your neck.
Now, understand something. These are the things that we supposed to, if we start with fearing Yahweh, we're going to understand. Because these things here is dealing with the commandments and the law. So as we go further down, remember the commandments and the laws as we read further down. Okay.
When you goeth, it shall lead you. When you sleepeth, it shall keep you. And when you awaketh, it shall talk with you.
So how can the law be done away with? All of this is what we're reading right here. When thou goest, it shall lead thee. When thou sleepeth, it shall keep thee. When thou awakest, it shall talk with thee. So these are the things that we got to make sure that we continually, day to day, keep in our life, in our mind, in our hearts. Because it's showing you the importance of the commandments and the laws right here. Go ahead.
For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light. And reproofs of instruction are the way of life.
We hear, for the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light. Several times we've talked about what the oil is within that lamp. The Spirit. So there you go right there. It says, for the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light. We already understand what the oil is within the lamp. The Spirit. Go ahead, my brother.
When you look at it, it puts the lamp first, and then the light. You can have a lamp with no light. Verse 24. To keep you from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman.
We all know that it's written that our Elohim is a jealous Elohim. And a lot of people know that. It goes without saying. But really, be real with yourself. Because many of us don't read to understand what Yahweh is coming from, how he wants us to live. Millions have gone and joined themselves to a strange woman, which is religion, spiritually. Our culture is written in the Bible. The way how we're supposed to live amongst each other is written in the Bible. The things that are clean and unclean to eat is written in the Bible. These things are able to, if we understand, it's able to sustain this natural and Yahweh, the spiritual body. But if these things are not given unto us, and those that are in front of us is not even dealing with what's written in this Bible that we have, then how are we expected to receive the salvation that we all should be looking for? Seriously. At the end of the day, it's coming. We got one more to read, and we're going to go to Matthew's. That's chapter 5. Matthew's chapter 5, and we're going to read 17 through 19. Matthew's chapter 5, verse 17 through 19.
Verse 17. Think not that I'm come to destroy the law or the prophets. I'm not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled.
Till heaven and earth pass. And we know that that's something, as it says right there at the end, till all be fulfilled. It's not even fulfilled yet. But we know that Yeshua is supposed to come back and reign on this earth for 1,000 years. And if that's something that we are looking forward to, we got to get our act together. Seriously. We got to make sure the people that we're listening to is all about Yah. It's easy to sit here and say those things, but we as individuals, we got to be about that. Because it really and truly, like I said, I wasn't the type of person back in the days that was going to church like that, But then when Yahweh allowed me to understand, I'm going to say it again, it surprised me. It really did surprise me. Seeing all these different things that people were doing. And I'm reading like, what is going on? So, and I know the scripture says, blind leading the blind, and of course, both shall fall into the ditch. Now, you do have those out there that truly is seeking and want to walk in righteousness. And Yahweh knows that. But at the end of the day, you have those out there that's that knows and don't even care, which are supposed to be your leaders. And if they don't care about you, why would you still be there in front of them? It makes no sense. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments, and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
But whosoever shall do, again, we dealing with the whole thing of action. Not just having faith and believing. Action. But whosoever shall do and teach. Now that's love right there. When you actually can see a friend, a family that's doing something not according to how they're supposed to do it in front of Yahweh. Unrighteous. Teach them. show them what you have learned, that they also can have that ear to hear, that they will, Yah's will be moved to walk in righteousness, to understand what they're doing. Sometimes all of us need a proper talking to, so we can understand what we're doing. Yeah, we might get upset, but understand something. If a brother or a sister is able to provoke you unto righteousness, that's a lovely thing, man. Seriously. Go ahead, my brother.
Now, just to, when you look at that equation, it says, but whosoever shall do first and teach them. A lot of people want to teach, and ain't doing nothing.
Exactly. Not understanding how they're supposed to do certain things before Yahweh. And then it goes back in the beginning of it, said, whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so. That's a position that they have to be in, to teach. Like Esaac was dealing with the Bible study and having that authority. Well, they've taken that authority and misused that authority that they have. Now they have all these people looking at them, listening to them. And again, it's not just dealing with Christianity. It's not just dealing with religion. We have our own people, Hebrew Israelites, are out there that are teaching people the wrong things, man, misleading folks. Talking about the word will baptize you. Seeing what we've seen and read in the scriptures. Baptism was still going on, even the death and resurrection of Yeshua. And this is what is being said out there, that the word baptizes you. Misleading folks, allowing them not to be able to be baptized for their remission of sins. They have no fear for Yah. Those that are doing that out there, they have no fear for Yah and they have no care for you. Why would you still be there? Please have that fear for Yahweh in you. Because it says they're breaking them and they dragging you down by teaching you the same thing of what they're not doing. For what? For money. For wealth. And there's greater wealth that's coming. So that's the end of that. And, praise Yah for allowing us once again to be able to take part in this new moon and be able to grow together, to understand together. And Yah's will, it is going to come a time where we're not going to be together. We don't know where we're going to be when things start, when crap start hitting the fan. But don't lose this time that we have to learn about Yahweh and what we need to do. And stop listening to those pulpit pimps, man, that's out there misleading you. Seriously, they don't care. They don't care about you. So again, why would you be there? All right, shalom and praise Yah once again. May we enjoy this new moon. And Yah be with you all, man. Praise Yah. Shalom.
Shalom.